Hello, and welcome back to HCTV 99 News. I'm Emily Ciccarelli. Thanks for joining us. We're here each week at this time with a 30-minute newscast produced by HCCC Radio, TV, Broadcasting Majors. This live weekly newscast is a production of RT 263, an advanced video production class offered here at Herkimer County Community College. Up next, Justin Parkinson has a special guest in our live Newsmakers segment. Justin?
Thank you, Emily. It's a very special guest. It's a relative of mine, Mr. Joshua Parkinson. How are you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having me.
So why don't you tell everybody at home what your current job is, what you do around the community, why we got you in here.
I'm the Herkimer County Prevention Specialist for problem gambling. I provide prevention services to all of Herkimer County, Old Forge, all the way back down to here included. I do a lot of things here at the college. I do freshman seminar courses about alcohol, substance abuse, and gambling. A SASSY class for first-time offenders for alcohol and drug users on campus. And I do a lot of different things around campus related to alcohol and drugs.
You've been in the gambling section of the prevention part for quite a few months now.
Yes.
What have you done before that? How did you kind of get into the gambling aspect of it?
Well, for a number of years I worked at the ARC here in Herkimer, taking care of developmentally disabled people. After that, I got a job within the domestic violence program at Catholic Charities. And there I did case management, individual counseling with domestic violence victims and things like that. After that, I worked briefly for mediation. I learned how to be a mediator, and then I got my foot into the door here in the Prevention Council.
Is gambling more exciting than all of these other things that you've done as far as the ARC, domestic stuff? Like, what about gambling is so appealing?
Well, gambling, to me, I guess, would be more interesting than my previous jobs because this is something that isn't known yet in New York State even, not just Herkimer County. Nobody likes to talk about their problem gambling. Nobody likes to talk about their loved ones having a problem gambling. And it's also a silent addiction. What that means is you can't smell it, you can't see it, you certainly can't tell if somebody has a problem gambling. So yes, to me it is more interesting.
What kind of schooling have you completed, and what kind of schooling do you still have to do to kind of get where you want to be in this field?
Where I want to be, I would need a master's degree. My last semester I'm my associate's degree right now in human services. I'd like to either end up working in a jail or working on a campus as an instructor, something along those lines.
What about prevention? If someone does have a gambling problem, like you said, it's a silent addiction. Not a lot of people talk about it. We think about drugs and alcohol instead. If someone has a gambling problem or they know someone who might be a problem gambler, where do they go? Who do they call? How do they get help for themselves or their loved ones?
Well, I would encourage them to call the Hope line, which is 1-877-8-HOPE-New York. That's a great place to talk confidentially. You don't have to give names or anything. They do provide services. For prevention purposes, you can contact me, and I can conduct classes or things like that.
What kind of stuff in Pacific? We heard what you did at the school here at college, but what do you do in the community as far as the elementary schools and the high schools to kind of let them know what's going on?
Very rudimentary programs like gambling, the gambling 1, 2, 3s, so to speak. We just try to get our foot in the door with the schools to let them know that this is a problem in our community. And I just try to do programming within the schools. In the community, I do the same thing. I just conduct maybe a 40-minute, not class, but a 40-minute presentation on the dangers of problem gambling.
What is the response like from the kids in that?
Well, from the kids will listen to anything if their teachers tell them to. You know, the kids really enjoy it. I do some fun things with the kids, but the adults in the other community, it's not so receptive yet because, like I said, gambling is a game. Adults don't see it as a problem.
Well, after this, we're going to be coming right back with more Newsmakers. Josh, you were with us for Alcohol Jeopardy a little bit earlier in the week. We ran that story. Also, we did a feature story with you last week, so we're going to talk to you more about what kind of things you do here in that aspect when we come back with more Newsmakers after this. Welcome back to Newsmakers. I'm sitting here with Josh Parkinson, dear close friend, relative of mine. We've kind of saturated you, flooded the newscast with gambling the last few weeks. Talk about what it's been like getting together with us, Adam from earlier, doing the feature story like that. Why do you participate in these type of things? What's so important about that?
Well, To be honest, I love coming up to the college. It's great. It's a great avenue to provide my services. It's not like when we meet, I give you a presentation about problem gambling. I work with you, and I worked with Adam closely, and we talked a lot about gambling. So that's me spreading awareness to you guys. And then by you providing this stuff for me, that provides more education materials to the public. So for me, it's a win-win. I mean, I get to educate you guys get to educate for me, and in the meantime, we built some really good bridges.
Let's talk about Alcohol Jeopardy, which happened this past Tuesday. It's a little bit off the gambling topic, but I understand that they came to you and asked you to host this. What was that like, and how was the turnout for that?
To be asked to be Alex Trebek of the Alcohol Jeopardy here on campus was an honor, so to speak. I really enjoyed doing the game. I think the students really enjoyed it, and even the onlookers enjoyed it. I try to get the students to interact. Not so easy with college students, but I think everybody had a really good time.
What do you think was the most interesting thing, either learned by the people who participated or even that you learned? Is it can't get fish drunk in Ohio, things like that? Like, what kind of information did you just gain yourself that maybe you didn't have beforehand?
Well, what I've learned from the students here is that they know a lot more about alcohol than I would perceive them to know. I do some different services here, and I do run into the occasional student who doesn't know anything about it. So having students come to this Jeopardy and having actual knowledge there, it taught me a lot. And I guess when you say getting the fish drunk in Ohio or whatever state it happened to be, yeah, you learn some silly things like that too, and those are good things to know because it kind of makes people laugh.
Why don't you give us, once again, where we can find you, what we got to do to get in touch with you, or the services that you provide through the website, telephone, all that kind of stuff. Where do we find Josh Parkinson?
I work at Catholic Charities in Herkimer County, which is stationed in Ilion. My number is 315-894-9917, extension 226. You can find my information at any brochure you might find on campus here. There are a bunch, posters, pens, cups, whatever you may see with Herkimer County Compulsive Gambling, you'll find me.
All right, well, I want to thank you for coming in, taking time out of your day. We're going to send it back to Emily. That's all for Newsmakers. Emily, back to you.
Thanks, Justin, and thank you for joining us. That's HCTV 99 News for tonight. Just a reminder for you, you can catch HCTV 99 News every Thursday afternoon at 5 o'clock throughout this semester. You can also catch encore presentations Fridays at 5 as well. We also feature a live 15-minute newscast on Tuesday afternoons at 1 o'clock. Newscasts are also archived on our YouTube channel. For everyone here in the radio and TV broadcasting major here at Herkimer County Community College, I'm Emily Ciccarelli, and thanks for watching. Oh no, I've had people literally